What's going on, everybody? Top 10 Pokemon back, and today we'll be doing a different style video than we are used to doing. We will be comparing the premiums of graded cards, specifically PSA 10 graded cards versus CGC 10 pristine graded cards, and seeing which one nowadays commands more of the premium in the market. So right here I have 10 Pokemon cards, 5 vintage, 5 modern, with a mixture of set cards and promo cards. So take a bet with yourself right now, folks. Will the majority of these cards be more expensive as PSA 10s, or will they be more expensive as CGC 10 pristines? What do you think? I thought this would be an interesting concept for a video. I hope you enjoy it. Please help me get to 30,000 subs by being a subscriber, and don't forget to give the video a like to help it get recommended to others. I would really appreciate it. So a majority of these cards will be comparing prices to from eBay sales, auction eBay sales, and they will be within the past 2 months. So let's get started with the first example. It is the Charizard EX Special Illustration Rare from the Scarlet and Violet 151 set. PSA 10 versus CGC 10 Pristine. Which one commands the premium right now? I'll give you 5 seconds. Time's up. If you said CGC 10 Pristines are more valuable, you are absolutely correct, because the last CGC 10 Pristine example sold for $668, while the last PSA 10 copy sold for $385. So the CGC 10 Pristine grade commands quite the premium over this card. As of right now, we are CGC 1, PSA none. Let's shift our focus to vintage in this Ancient Mew from the Pokemon, the movie 2000. We have a PSA 10 copy and a CGC 10 pristine example. Which one of these has sold for more? Go. If you said the CGC 10, you would be correct, as the last CGC 10 Pristine sold for $305, while the last PSA 10 copy sold for $281. So, man, both vintage and modern, our first two cards, CGC has dominated. We have CGC 2 to PSA 0. On to the third card, we have another one from the Scarlet and Violet 151. It is the Zapdos EX Special Illustration Rare, the best card in the set, if you ask me. A PSA 10 copy versus the CGC 10 Pristine. Which one has sold for more? Go. Time's up. If you said the PSA 10 copy, you are correct, as the last PSA 10 sale sold for $553, while the last CGC 10 copy sold for $142. And in the past week, there have been several examples of this card selling for more than the CGC 10. So hey, PSA gets a point, finally. We are 2-1, on to the next card. And it's another Zapdos card, but this one here is the first edition Holo Zapdos from Fossil. We have a PSA 10 copy on the left and a CGC 10 Pristine on the right. Which one sold for more? You got 5 seconds. Time's up. If you said the PSA 10 example is worth more, you are correct, as it has sold for $660 recently, while a CGC 10 Pristine has sold for $435. So, PSA just tied it up 2-2. On to the fifth card, and it is none other than the Pikachu Van Gogh promo card. Pikachu with gray felt hat. We have a PSA 10 on the left, the CGC 10 Pristine on the right. Which one sells for more in the current market? Go. And if you said the CGC 10 Pristine is more valuable, you would be correct. It is more valuable by a long shot, selling in the past week for $770, while the PSA 10 copies have been selling for around $360. So another point goes to CGC, 3-2. On to card number 6, we have the first edition Blaine's Charizard from Gym Challenge. Two very recent sales. The one on the left, PSA. The one on the right, CGC. Which one is worth more? Go. Time's up for this vintage card. If you said the PSA 10 copy is worth more, you are correct, as we had a very recent PSA 10 example sell for about $3,300, while a CGC 10 pristine copy has most recently sold for $3,050. So PSA ties it up yet again, 3-3. On to card number 7. We have the Moonbryon VMAX from Evolving Skies. Which one sells for more, the PSA 10 or the CGC 10 pristine? You got 5 seconds. All right, folks, if you said the CGC 10 pristine example, you are correct, as it has most recently sold for a staggering $1,225, while the PSA 10 copies have come down quite a bit in the past few months, most recently selling for about $735. So CGC takes another point, 4-3. On to card number 8. We have the Gold Star Ryko. So we're going back to vintage for this one again. The Gold Star Ryko from Unseen Forces, PSA 10 versus CGC 10. Who you got? Time's up. If you said the PSA 10 example is more expensive, you are correct, as the most recent PSA 10 copy sold for $970, while a CGC 10 pristine has sold for $725. So PSA ties it up yet again. We are even 4-4 with 2 more cards to grade. On to card number 9, we have the Charizard GX from Hidden Fates. We have a PSA 10 copy here with the CGC 10 pristine on the right. Which one sells for more? Think about it. So the PSA 10 copy has been very lackluster the past couple of months. A card that was usually selling for over $1,000 has since come down to around $560. So the winner of this particular example is the CGC 10 Pristine, which has sold most recently for $765. All right, CGC is in the lead, 5-4. Comes down to our last card. We're going off of eBay for this one. We're going to the first edition base set in this first edition Blastoise Holo. We have a PSA 10 example on the left and a rarely seen CGC 10 Pristine example on the right. Which one has sold for more? You got 5 seconds on the clock. So both of these cards have sold this month. The PSA 10 has been selling very consistently for around $21,000, while the CGC 10 Pristine has landed at about $11,700. So quite a significant difference there in price between the PSA 10 and the CGC 10 Pristine, which evens it up, folks. 5-5. It's a draw. And you thought I was going to stack the court with PSA, didn't you? Nope. It is 5-5, and what's this tell us about the market? Not a whole lot, because there are several factors that go into auction sales. You got to consider who is selling the cards. You know, some of these bigger consignment companies like Probstein or Z&G or TCA Gaming, a lot of the times can get a premium compared to sellers that are relatively unknown. And you also have to consider auction houses. What do these cards sell for on Golden, Heritage, PWCC, eBay? And you also have to consider cert numbers, especially with PSA. A lot of the times, higher cert numbers command a little bit more of a premium than the older certification numbers. So there you go, folks. Just a fun video comparing the recent CGC and PSA prices. Let me know what you think. Is this something you want to see more of in the future? Let me know in the comments below. That's all I got for you, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll catch you all on my next one.